a very good evening. This is Primetime News here on TV1. Today is the 27th of December 2023. For the Newsfirst team, I am Rochelle Tumodara and these are your headlines for tonight.
Special statement by the President on reconciliation in March reiterates call for support from all parties to build the country. Kehelia Rabukwalla's statement on the purchase of human immunoglobulin produced before court. Crime ring sends Sri Lankan youth to the hands of Chinese criminal gangs through Dubai. Operation Yuktia recommences. Ethiopia also goes bankrupt. Defaults on bonds. Will Yemen's Houthi rebels disrupt commercial shipping in the Red Sea? India sends 3 warships to the Arabian Sea.
Now on to your top story this evening. President Ranil Wickremesinghe stated today that he expects to provide quick solutions to the unresolved issues related to reconciliation in the country and that he expects to make a special statement in this regard in March 2024. The president made this statement while addressing a function held in Guruthalava, Badulla. The President made this statement while addressing the centenary celebration ceremony held in the Muslim Central College in Guruthalava, Badulla. The President, who headed the ceremony, commended students who excelled in academic and extracurricular activities.
දේශපාලන පක්ෂවලින් ඉල්ලලා තිබුණා එන්න අපිට සහයෝගය දෙන්න මේ ආර්ථිකය හදන්න අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වන ප්‍රතිචාරය ලැබිලා නැහැ ඒත් අද මේ රටේ
I requested everyone including political parties to support us in building the country's economy but we did not get the response we expected. There are 2 main issues which need to be solved in this country today. Regardless of which party they belong to, I request all those people to join us in solving those problems again. The first issue is to build a stable economy in the country. The second is to find solutions to the country's ethnic issue. The rights of all the people in the country must be protected. A strong country can only be built if everyone moves forward together. Even though the war is over, there are still unresolved issues before the Human Rights Commission in Geneva. As a government, we have taken the necessary steps to solve those problems. We will also especially consider and address the neglect towards removing boundaries after the Easter Sunday attack. Because it is important for Muslim religious education, we have also addressed on bringing books and getting Egyptian lecturers to Sri Lanka. Drafting of a law to regulate madrasa schools was initiated, but it was not presented. It is very important. There are many such issues that affect the Muslim people, and there were cases filed against some people. The cases were then removed from court without being heard, if the said opinions are not related to terrorism or creating revolutions. The law should provide that protection. Our attention has been focused on these matters. I have requested reports from the relevant ministries and officials. After receiving them, I hope to make a full statement by next February. Before that, I hope to meet religious leaders and political leaders and discuss all these matters.
ගිහිලා අපි දේශපාලන නායකත් මුණ ගැහිලා මේ කාරණා 3-4 ගැන මුස්ලිම් ජනතාවත් ද්‍රවිඩ ජනතාවත් මේ ප්‍රශ්න ගැනත් සාකච්ඡා කරන්නට ඉන්නේ.
According to the Constitution of Sri Lanka, 2024 is an election year. Multiple opinions were expressed in the political arena over the upcoming presidential election. On to more local news, former Secretary to the Ministry of Health Janaka Sri Chandragupta and 5 other suspects who were in remand custody over the deal of supplying a stock of fake human immunoglobulin were further remanded until the 10th of January today. The order was handed down when the case was called up for examination today.
A probe is currently underway over the supply of a stock of fake human immunoglobulin vials procured from an unregistered supplier without following due process. 6 suspects were arrested as a result of this probe. The 6 suspects were produced before Maligakanda Magistrate Lochani Abevikrama once more today. During the examination, Deputy Solicitor General Lakwini Girahagama submitted to court a report of the statement provided by former Health Minister Kehelia in this case. During the presentation of the report, The magistrate questioned whether the supply of this stock of medicine was done unbeknownst to the former Minister of Health and also inquired if any mention was made by the former Health Minister during his statement regarding the 6 arrested suspects. In reply, the Deputy Solicitor General revealed that the former Health Minister had only mentioned the names of the 6th and 1st suspects in his statement. She went on to state that once he was notified of the deal in question, Keheliya Rambukwalla had immediately directed 3 letters to the Medical Supply Division ordering to suspend the payment to the supplier. The Deputy Solicitor General apprised the magistrate further that the former Health Minister had thereafter received a threatening letter from the owner of the entity which supplied the substandard medicine. President's Counsel Nalindra Indathissa, appearing on behalf of the Citizens Organisation Against Bribery, Corruption and Waste, the aggrieved party in the case, quizzed. Although the former Health Minister had directed the Medical Supply Division to suspend payment through letters, he had on a prior occasion presented cabinet papers requesting funds through the Indian credit line or another credit line to purchase the stock of medicine in question. The President's Counsel highlighted that this proves the former Health Minister's statement is contradictory and pointed out that his client had filed this case on the 2nd of November. Speaking further in court, the President's Counsel stated that the former Minister of Health had filed the case after the 2nd of November, and when considering all these facts collectively, a reasonable suspicion arises over the statement provided by the former Health Minister to the CID regarding this controversial deal.
The Criminal Investigation Department visited the official residence of former Health Minister Keheliya Rambukwalla yesterday and recorded a statement for over 7 hours. Attorney Manoj Gamage, a director of the National Medicines Regulatory Authority, explained the matter to media yesterday.
There is no evidence confirming that the minister is involved in this incident as of yet. He is the complainant. We also submitted video footage of how the minister questions the officials over how this supplier was handed over the tender and about the procedure. Today, the Government Medical Officers Association questioned as to how a member of the Board of Directors of the NMRA can represent the former Health Minister. The CID has recorded a statement from the former Health Minister, but his attorney has said that this was a statement he recorded willingly. How are there such controversies? The same attorney is a member of the Board of Directors of the NMRA. So, where is this questioned? The Joint Council of Professions of Supplementary Medicine also raised questions in this regard. How can someone representing the authority regarding drugs and someone who is part of the board of directors directly appear for another who is facing allegations over the drug at his house? He is still part of the board of directors. Although the health minister, health secretary and the chairman of the NMRA changed, the same individual who made ridiculous claims about the loss of lives in the past made this statement today as well. Now, just like we mentioned earlier, according to the Constitution of Sri Lanka, 2024 is an election year. Now, multiple opinions are being expressed in the political arena over the upcoming presidential election.
Presidential battle.
MP Daya Sirasa has expressed his desire to contest the upcoming presidential election. I don't
think Maithripala Sirisena will contest the upcoming election from the SLFP because I don't think a former president would willingly contest an election that he may lose. The left-wing parties don't have proper leaders either. If there is a requirement, I will take it up because I am capable of doing so and have many years of experience working with trade unions in the country. If I am given the opportunity, I will ensure that the requirements are being fulfilled. Please don't vote for anyone to test them out.
Presidential battle.
MP Mano Ganesan also commented on a common candidate for the upcoming election.
They are saying that a Tamil candidate will be the common candidate. Even the South is of that opinion. Ranil Wickremesinghe says that he is the common candidate because he is not sure of his party, the UNP. The UNP has collapsed, so he wants to become the common candidate. There is also an opinion that when the Rajapaksas and Wickremesinghe form an alliance, the opposition must come together to nominate a common candidate against them. Dhammika Pereira will divide the SLPP. Dhammika will have the support of one part of the SLPP, while Ranil will have the support of the rest. So, the SLPP is not a competition for us, but competition for the SLPP itself.
Presidential battle.
Professor Charita Herath also expressed views on the upcoming election.
දැන් නැවත රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්තයා අරගෙන ඇවිල්ලා කරන්නේ ඒ පාරෙම ඉස්සරහට වලවල් වලට වැටෙන්න තියෙන පාරෙම.
You need to have a proper consensus on economic stability ahead of the upcoming election. The game must be fair for all. Not doing so is a common mistake made by those in a liberal economy. The IMF assistance must be used strategically.
ICU එකෙන් ඉන්ටෙන්සිව් කෙයා එකෙන් එළියට යන්න ඕන මේ ලෙඩ සාමාන්‍ය වාට්ටුවෙන් ගෙදර යන්න ඕන සාමාන්‍ය ආර්ථිකයක් බවට මේක පත් වෙන්න ඕන.
TV1, Sri Lanka's premier infotainment channel. In support of Sri Lanka's unique tradition of art and design, presents The Genius of the Place, the story of Jeffrey Baba, a film by Abdel Aziz. Exclusively aired in Sri Lanka on TV1, January 7th, 2024 at 7:30 p.m.
රට ඉල්ලන්නේ වෙනසක් නම් ඔබ ඉල්ලන්නේ වෙනසක් නම් ඒ වෙනස ඔබම වෙන්න රට වෙනුවෙන් පෙරට එන්න.
Inflation, exchange rates and the rise and fall of the stock market, bringing you insights into the business world. Watch the Business Buzz every Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. on TV1.
අපි හැමදාම ආර්ථිකය දැක්කේ පාට කණ්ණාඩි වලින්. ආර්ථිකය සංවර්ධනය කරන්න පාට කණ්ණාඩි ගලවලා රට වෙනුවෙන් පෙරට එන්න.
Welcome back to the news. Now, the statement provided by Minister Keheliya Rabukwala was prompted multiple factions to express their opinion on the matter. Here are some of those views. The Criminal Investigation Department visited the official residence of former Health Minister Keheliya Rabukwala yesterday and recorded a statement for over 7 hours. Attorney Manoj Gamage, a director of the National Medicines Regulatory Authority, explained the matter to media yesterday.
There is no evidence confirming that the minister is involved in this incident as of yet. He is the complainant. We also submitted video footage of how the minister questions the officials over how this supply was handed over the tender and about the procedure.
Today, the Government Medical Officers Association questioned as to how a member of the Board of Directors of the NMRA can represent the former Health Minister.
The CID has recorded a statement from the former Health Minister, but his attorney has said that this was a statement he recorded willingly. How are there such controversies? The same attorney is a member of the Board of Directors of the NMRA. So, where is this questioned?
The Joint Council of Professions of Supplementary Medicine also raised questions in this regard.
How can someone representing the authority regarding drugs and someone who is part of the board of directors directly appear for another who is facing allegations over the drug at his house? He is still part of the board of directors. Although the health minister, health secretary and the chairman of the NMRA changed, the same individual who made ridiculous claims about the loss of lives in the past made this statement today as well.
කරපු වෙලාවේ ඉඳගත්ත එතුමාම තමයි මේ අද දවසෙත් මේ ප්‍රකාශය කරන්නේ.
The Government Medical Officers Forum also expressed views in this regard today.
හිටපු සෞඛ්‍ය අමාත්‍ය කෙහෙලිය රබුක්වැල්ල
Former Health Minister Keheliya Ramukwella called the CID officers and recorded a statement at his residence regarding the immunoglobulin scam. He himself said he became the first complainant in August and therefore he cannot be an accused and he is a victim. Thieves in this country accuse each other and question who the thief is. That is what we must ask today. Who is the thief? This is the stance of the movement for people's struggle. Usually, if someone is believed to have committed a crime or is a suspect, we know how the Sri Lankan police intervenes. They are dragged by the ear, beaten, held for days and forcibly interrogated. What happened yesterday when substandard medicine and antibodies were imported and people were left to die? And when it was discussed in Parliament, the minister said there are funeral parlours near hospitals for that reason. The CID recorded a statement from that minister within the comforts of his own home, behind closed gates. What was the statement that was recorded? The CID, police department and police spokesperson should tell the country what was revealed through the statement. Reveal all that information. The police spokesman responded to all these allegations.
මෙහිදී විශේෂයෙන් සිද්ධ වුණේ අමාත්‍යතුමා විසින් දැනුම් දීමක් කරලා තිබුණා අපරාධ පරීක්ෂණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට යම්කිසි ආකාරයකට මේ අදා විමර්ශනයට අදාළව.
What happened was the minister had informed the CID that he possesses evidence regarding this matter and he is able to hand them over to the CID. That was the request he had made. Based on that request, the officers of the CID went to his home yesterday to obtain the minister's statement. This was not a statement obtained by the CID through its own intent. It was something the minister provided willingly.
ලබාගත් ප්‍රකාශයක් නෙවෙයි අමාත්‍යතුමා විසින් ලබා දීමට ඉදිරිපත් වූ ප්‍රකාශය තමයි ඊයේ දිනේදී ලබාගත්තේ.
A group affected by the construction of the Central Expressway initiated a satyagraha in Gattuwada, Kurunegala this morning. It was commenced demanding proper compensation for their homes.
Protesters pitched a tent near the Gattuwada entrance to the expressway in Kurunegala this morning and initiated a satyagraha. However, the police intervened and demanded for it to be called off. The police took into custody all the materials brought to build the tents. Although the protesters tried to march towards the Kurunegala police station, the police intervened and stopped them. Thereafter, the protesters commenced a satyagraha campaign.
During the years from 2017 to 2022, many properties have been damaged due to the construction of the expressway and due to the irregular execution of these construction work in violation of environmental assessment reports and the basic conditions of the contract agreement. 650 houses and other commercial properties are at high risk. The police have not enforced the law on any of these even as of today, and the respondents have not yet been called for interrogation.
Authorities have still been unable to secure the release of 56 Sri Lankan youth who are being held captive and forced to engage in cybercrime in the terrorist camp in Myanmar. Newsfirst's continuous investigations revealed the roots of the racket to supply Sri Lankan youth for terrorist activity. Newsfirst brings you this special report on the findings.
Over the past few weeks, Newsfirst has been revealing details of 56 Sri Lankan youth who are being held captive and forced to engage in cybercrimes by a terrorist group in the Karen state of Myanmar near the Thailand border. This is Myavedhi city. This is a satellite image of a place in Myavedhi in 2020. At the time, this area was a farming land cultivated using the Moy River that flows between Myanmar and Thailand. According to a revelation by the New York Times, this area has become a criminal hotspot with a Chinese investment. In March 2020, constructions commenced at this site for a new industrial zone by Van Kwok Khoi, a notorious criminal alias Broken Tooth. He is believed to lead the 14K triad, which is accused of many crimes including drug trafficking, gambling and human trafficking. Based on foreign media reports, many cybercrime hotspots have been established in Myanmar with his investment by Van Kwok. A Chinese group based in Dubai hunts unemployed, educated people, including Sri Lankan youth, for these crime hotspots. This is a secret recording of a conversation between a Chinese smuggler in Dubai and a Sri Lankan.
That people, they are good? No, brother. All people now is alhamdulillah good, bro. They are good? Yes. Okay. How is this package? From which country, bro? My country, my blood brother. From Sri Lanka? Yeah, my blood brother. My blood brother. Okay, brother. Yeah. How much is the salary? Start salary from $1,400. $1,400. Oh, okay. Are you working here now? Yes. Really? Like HR, bro. Oh, HR. Okay. Then what do you want? Photograph? Only passport picture here. Only passport picture. Okay, I will send that.
මෙම චීන ජාතිකයින් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ මෙරට තරුණ තරුණියන් ජාවාරම සඳහා යොදා ගන්නා ආකාරය දැක්වෙන හඬපට කිහිපයක්. රැකියාව ලබා දීම සඳහා ඔවුන්ගේ ප්‍රධාන කොන්දේසිය වන්නේ ඉංග්‍රීසි
දැන්
Now taking a look at more news, Ethiopia became Africa's third default in as many years after it failed to make a $33 million coupon payment on its only international government bond.
According to Reuters, Africa's second most populous country announced earlier this month that it intended to formally go into default, having been under severe financial strain in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic and a 2-year civil war that ended in November 2022. It was supposed to make the payment on the 11th of December, but technically had up until yesterday to provide the money due to a 14-day grace period clause written into the $1 billion bond. On December 18th, Reuters reported that Ethiopia is in talks with the International Monetary Fund to borrow around $3.5 billion under a reform program. The report added that a group of Ethiopia officials and their advisors told international bondholders in a call that the country aims to reach a staff-level agreement on an IMF loan by the first quarter of 2024. Ethiopia faces increasing concerns alongside Zambia and Ghana.
Will Yemen's Houthi rebels' attack on commercial ships in the Red Sea create a new crisis? Here's a Newsfirst report on this matter.
Who are Yemen's Houthis? In 1990, the Houthi rebels representing Yemeni Zaidi Shias emerged as a response to perceived political and social marginalization under then-President Ali Abdullah Saleh. The Houthis have recently engaged in attacks on commercial ships in the Red Sea, raising concerns about regional security. While the Houthis have criticized Israeli actions in Palestine, they have launched a series of attacks on vessels in the Red Sea, as well as launching drones and missiles targeting Israel. The BBC reported, quoting the US Central Command, that at least 15 commercial ships have come under attack by Houthi militants so far in the past 2 months. How will the attacks impact commercial shipping? The Red Sea is a crucial shipping route for oil supplies to the Middle East, including Saudi Arabia. The Suez Canal connecting the Red Sea with the Mediterranean is the main shipping route between Asia and Europe. It handles a significant portion of global trade, including oil tankers. Foreign media reported that the attacks have pushed several shipping companies to reroute their vessels. Has the international community responded to the Houthis? The disruption has led the US to launch an international naval operation to protect ships on the Red Sea route. The disruption has led the US to launch an international naval operation to protect ships on the Red Sea route. Countries joining the security action named Operation Prosperity Guardian include the UK, Canada, France, Bahrain, Norway and Spain. The US has repeatedly accused Iran of being deeply involved. However, Iran insists that it is not coordinating with the Houthis and plays no role in the attacks. Has India intervened in the Red Sea crisis? Yesterday, the Indian Navy dispatched guided missile destroyers to the Arabian Sea after an attack on a chemical tanker off its coast. The move comes after the MV Kem Pluto was struck by a missile while sailing in the Arabian Sea on its way to New Mangalore port on the 16th of December 2023. While there have been claims that the MV Kem Pluto has a connection to Israel, these claims have not been verified by any official sources. According to foreign media, chemical tanker Kem Pluto is Liberian flagged, Japanese owned and Dutch operated. The attack triggered a fire, but it was quickly extinguished by the crew. Indian media reports said the vessel was transporting oil from Saudi Arabia and was heading to the Mangalore port in southern India when the attack took place. After the attack, an Indian Coast Guard ship accompanied the MV Kem Pluto to Mumbai. In view of recent attacks on commercial vessels in Arabian Sea, the Indian Navy deployed 3 warships to maintain a deterrent presence. In view of recent attacks on commercial vessels in Arabian Sea, the Indian Navy deployed 3 warships to maintain a deterrent presence. The Navy deployed warships INS Mormugao, INS Kochi and INS Kolkata in the region. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said India plays the role of a net security provider in the entire Indian Ocean region. He said the Indian Navy had increased its surveillance of the seas. He added, "We shall find whoever is responsible for this attack and strict action will be taken against them." BBC reported that this is triggering concerns for exporters in South Asia. Vice President of the Bangladesh Garment Manufacturers and Exporters Association told the BBC, "We are worried. Our shipping agents say the transport cost could increase by 10 to 15% and the travel time will increase by 5 to 7 days."
Now taking a look back at news here at home, Minister of Public Security Tiran Alas announced the full resumption of the Operation Yuktia effective today. He said that the operation will be carried out until all drug traffickers are brought in front of the law.
Mattakuliye Kuduroshan, who is said to be a leading drug dealer, has been arrested in Varakapula last night along with his relatives. 10 men, 5 women and 8 children were among the arrested. They were arrested on their way back to Mattakuliya from Nuwara as they had escaped to Nuwara after vacating their households in Mattakuliya since the Yuktia operation commenced. The police have seized 1 gram and 875 milligrams of heroin that the group had within their possession. The police further said that ice and packets of Mava were also seized during the vehicle search as well. Operation Yuktia was carried out in the Palyavatta and Palyugada areas today. One team carried out inspections on the land, while another team went by boat along the Kalani River and carried out search operations. Several men and women whose identity cannot be confirmed, as well as several suspects allegedly involved in various crimes, were arrested during the search. The Police Marine Division also assisted in today's raids. Laksanda 7 housing complex and the Singhapura area belonging to the Vallampitiya Police Division were also searched under Operation Yuktia. 29 suspects, out of which 3 were issued warrants, a 3-wheeler, 1,800 intoxicants, ice and 16 mobile phones were seized by the police during this search. Earlier this morning, the police officers of the Devala Traffic Division found 6 grams and 900 milligrams of ice in a suspicious vehicle at the Devala junction. One suspect was arrested during this operation.
යුක්තිය මෙහෙම සිදුවෙන කාල සීමාව තුළ මේ මද්ද්‍රව්‍ය ජාවාරම් වල යෙදিলা ඉන්න පිරිස්
We have noticed that people who are engaged in drug trafficking are fleeing to various areas and are taking shelter in guest houses and hotels. We request the public to provide us information regarding such traffickers. We also request guest house owners and hotel owners to report us of any suspicious people or groups and information about drug traffickers. They can be using your guest house for protection. Hence, we request you to collect and keep records of such people.
ඒ නිසා පැමිණෙන පුද්ගලයන් පිළිබඳ නිවැරදිව තොරතුරු වාර්තාගත කිරීමට කටයුතු කරන්න.
Japanese Finance Minister Sunichi Suzuki will visit Sri Lanka and Cambodia on a 4-day tour from the 9th of January.
In Sri Lanka, which is virtually in default, Japanese Finance Minister Shunichi Suzuki is expected to meet with Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe to discuss debt restructuring for the country. In November, Sri Lanka and a group of creditors led by Japan and others reached a basic agreement on deferring debt repayments and cutting interest rates. Suzuki told a press conference it's important for the debt restructuring process to make steady progress. In Cambodia, Japanese Finance Minister Shunichi Suzuki will work for closer bilateral ties with the two countries this year, marking the 70th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations.
The police in Colorado are investigating threats made against judges who ruled Donald Trump cannot be listed on the state's presidential primary ballot.
Denver police said they were providing extra patrols around the homes of justices in the city. The Denver FBI office said it was assisting local police. Colorado Supreme Court ruled last week that Trump is ineligible under a U.S. Constitution clause that bars candidates who engage in insurrection. Trump and his campaign criticized the 4-3 decision, calling it deeply flawed, and his campaign has vowed to appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. The ruling relied on Section 3 of the Constitution's 14th Amendment, which was enacted after the U.S. Civil War. The provision states that any official who engage in insurrection or rebellion is disqualified from holding federal office.
Israel has upgraded its travel advisory for citizens in India after a low-intensity explosion near the country's embassy in Delhi.
The blast took place yesterday in the capital's Chanakyapuri diplomatic enclave. Nobody was injured, but police said they recovered shrapnel from the spot. An investigation is underway. Israel has asked its citizens to avoid crowded places like malls and markets and skip large-scale events. It added that it is possible the explosion was an attack and there was a fear of a recurrence of the events. In a public message, the country's national security headquarters also warned Israelis staying in India and Delhi in particular to stay alert, avoid displaying Israeli symbols in public, and not post their trip details or photos on social media channels.
And that's a wrap of your primetime news for tonight. Thank you and good night.